to finally do a reset. I know that June is already 1 week in, but we're going to go ahead and go over the numbers for May and look at what June is looking like. And we already have a quite big expense that I need to talk about. It's not reflected in this budget, but I'm going to talk about it maybe like in a longer video, maybe next week, just specifically about it, because it was something that was very unexpected, but it had to be done, especially in the place that I live in the South. So yeah, we are going to talk about that. But before we get into the budget, I just want to say thank you all so much for getting me to 600 subscribers. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. This is an outlet for me just to create videos and be creative, and I just really love sharing with you all and educating you all about personal finances, and I want to show a way of budgeting that makes you feel in tune with what you want to do with your life, as well as making sure that you are setting yourself up for the future, that all of that is accounted for. So this channel is all about educational content. It is never about boasting. It is always about giving you all things to help you with your financial journey, because we're all on a financial journey, and whether we have tons of debt, we have no debt, or we have any situation in between, there is something we can learn from watching other people. I learn a ton from watching other people talk about their budgets, talk about what they're doing. So this is why I make this content for you all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my spreadsheet. If you see me glancing over to the side, it's because I have my laptop here, and I am sitting in my living room today because it's a little bit warm upstairs. So I am sitting down here today because I like this angle. I think this setup is really nice. This will not be my normal setup. I will be in my office for most videos, but I just wanted to be down here for this one. I thought the light was really good. So let's go ahead and get into the budget. As we always start out in this budget, let's go over our income. So my husband and I do combined finances, and we both get paid twice a month. So this is all of our money that we make post taxes. So after our 401k, our insurance, anything like that. So this is just what hits our bank account. And so that's what is reflected here. We also have some extra money, and I will talk about where that extra money came from. We had $735.47 of extra income. Some of it came from the app that I recommended using, which is Adapole, which I recommended because I've been using it, and I had a link down below, and some people signed up, and I got some referrals. And I also did like a big challenge with one of the apps, and I basically I don't know. I think I broke the app, because now that I'm on it, it'll keep saying there's no polls available anymore. So I think they're like, oh, she made too much money in 1 month, we need to stop her. But anyway, I think you should be able to still try it. So the link will be down in the description below. It'll give you a little bit of a sign up bonus, but it's just taking polls, surveys, that kind of stuff. So that was about 100 of it. I also sold some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. So that is also in here. The biggest amount of this is I did get a bonus from work, and this was a referral bonus. And so that was a big portion of that. That was like over $500 of this extra income. So that is that. And then for interest, we made $73, which I knew that the interest would go down because once the ally interest rate has been very steady every month, so it's not the highest interest rate, but I like to shop around things like doing like bank interest is cheaper, like half point higher yield, so I don't know about that. But another reason why this is lower is because it's about money for the house company, and so that was sitting on our income, helping us gain interest, and so now that is out there, so in total, we brought home $12,775, which I am so grateful for. My husband and I are both engineers. I don't think I've talked about what we do, but my husband is an electrical engineer, and I'm a software engineer, so this is what we make with our respective careers. All right, let's go over to the bills. So this was something that I grossly underestimated, and it was because we moved into the house in April, but then we didn't get charged for a lot of our stuff until May. And then now I realize that a lot of it's not even getting charged till June. So I overestimated a lot of this, but I have gotten quite a few of the bills back already. And so this month in June, I have to pay a lot. But we've got some rollover because of that. So this was our last mortgage payment of our $1,124 for our old house. We did sell that property. We are not turning it into a rental. That got paid off when we went and sold the house, and so now we don't have that mortgage, but obviously we have the new mortgage for this house. Our Wi-Fi, there was a weird situation with our Wi-Fi. We switched over. We were still using Google Fiber here. We use Google Fiber at the old house. And I don't know what's going on with Google Fiber. I thought it would be like just fine. We would like get billed properly, but there's something going on with our bill. So we didn't pay for Wi-Fi, but we've had Wi-Fi all week, all month. So I don't know what's going on with that. In terms of our water, this was our water bill for our last house. There's also a thing going on with our water bill. I won't be able to pay online until I get the first physical bill from the mail, and that takes up to 6 weeks after. So I think she told me next year or so, and I'll see if I can start doing it online instead of automated billing. Also, if I can get my previous house, I have water credit. So hopefully if I can get the new bill in the system, in like an online water system, then I hopefully can get that bill, some of that covered from the credit from the previous house. This is what happens with government utilities. Okay. Electric and gas was $142.60. Again, we didn't get charged for electricity at this house. We got charged for electricity at the last house, and then we did get charged for our gas bill because here we have a gas furnace and our hot water heater is gas. So both of those run on gas, natural gas. So we have to pay that, and then we also have the electricity bill. Phone bill was the same, security was the same, and pest control was all the same. So no problems there. We had a total of $428 left over from this, but I rolled all of that over to pay for the fact that we are going to have to pay all of our big bills in the month of June. And so now let's go over to our expenses. So we were over in groceries, and the reason why this was is because we did not go and buy a lot of groceries last month because of everything with moving. I'm going to be talking about moving for like the next 6 months. I'm sorry. I want to do like some house vlogs. I don't know, because there's some projects I want to work on. But we will see when that gets there. But anyway, sorry, talking about the house. And so this month we actually had to like buy a lot of stuff. We also bought some groceries for Mother's Day dinner and things like that. So there was some other stuff that went into this. There were also some of the stuff that you just buy every few months that you need to stock up on. So we got more laundry detergent and dishwasher detergent, all that good stuff. So that was in here. Gas and transportation, we were actually slightly under, which is very surprising because this does include higher gas prices, but the gas prices have come down. And it also includes all of our gas that we had to pay for our rental car in Seattle. And prices in Seattle were super high. So yeah, so $341.36, very happy that we're under there. In giving, we are Christians, and we do believe in giving to charitable causes, to our church community, and all that good stuff. And I just blocked that out for privacy purposes. For therapy, so my husband does therapy, I do therapy. My therapy is covered by my work. My husband has therapy, and his copay is $18. For gyms and subs, the reason why we're over here is because I got charged twice for HP Instant Ink, which is like the thing that I have to use for my printer to work. It's so annoying that I have to even do that. With my spending, it does look like I'm over a little bit, but I was actually not over too bad because some of the money that I got from my bonus, I went ahead and paid for a haircut, and that was why it was over the normal spending. My husband's spending was also a little bit over, but no problem there, just a few dollars. For guilt-free spending, we were over just a little bit, which is really not as bad as I thought. Because, like I said, we had several things that we were doing. We went on vacation, we had Mother's Day, we had several birthdays, we had a baby shower that I went to. So a lot of fun things. In miscellaneous, we were also over here by $10, and I think this was parking. Parking is really expensive in Seattle, so that was fun. And then for home, I actually made this, so I wanted this budget to be reflective of how much we would need to save for our new mortgage. So I just actually made this equal our old mortgage payment plus our plus the amount needed extra to get to that new mortgage payment, because we are 1 month ahead, which means that all of the money we make in the month of May actually goes to pay off June's bills, and the money that we made in April went to go pay off May's bills. So I did that just for it to make sense in my head, and so we're all good there. We also, my husband bought a record player stand. He got it custom made, and so we had to put a deposit down for that. And yeah, that was pretty much the only things that we bought for the house. Car maintenance, we didn't spend anything in car maintenance, which is very nice. And then in travel, we did go over here in travel as well. And I actually realized the reason why we went over in travel here is because I forgot to properly put in how much I needed to pay for our rental, our car rental. But we had a lot of fun. We went to so many things. I really believe this in my heart of hearts, but I would so much rather like spend money on experiences and time with my loved ones. And so that vacation was such a fun time. We saw one of my coworkers for lunch. It was really great. We went to the Seattle Aquarium. We went to the Pike Place Market, and we did this really fun food tour with this chef. He walked us around the market. He told us about the history of it. We got to try a lot of great samples. It was so good. We stayed at this beautiful hotel. The main thing that I am doing with my Chase Sapphire Reserve is I'm trying to use up as many of those like credits that you can get. And so one of the credits is that they have this like curated list of like very high-end hotels that if you pay with your Chase credit card to stay there, you get a lot of extras to go on top of that. So we got quite a bit of good extras. We got upgraded to a suite, so that was a really nice room. We got free breakfast for 2. We also got $100 in food and beverage credit. For 2 nights, we paid $414 for that hotel. Probably it would probably been like a $500 a night hotel. I'm not mad with how much we spent on travel. I really enjoyed our time. And so in total, we spent $59.41 on expenses. So we were definitely over by a lot, $407. But because we had all that extra income and because we saved quite a bit of money on how much I had originally budgeted for our bills, we're actually still in the green. So that's not bad. All right, so now let's talk about our savings and sinking funds. So sinking funds are your best friend if you are new to budgeting. It is where you set aside money specifically for different things, and you know that I can spend the money out of this and it's all good. I've saved the money. We save the money upfront intentionally for all of this. So that is what I like to do. That is the way. So with our emergency fund, I didn't put anything in our emergency fund because we are currently at our emergency fund number. We're 6 months funded, so I don't have to worry about that. For our health and wellness, we have high deductible healthcare plans with HSAs, health savings accounts, and inside of your health savings account, it is triple tax advantaged, which means that you put the money in tax-free, the money grows tax-free, and then when you take it out, you don't have to pay taxes on that money if you go and take it out for qualified medical expenses. So because of that, we invest our HSA dollars and then we pay for medical things out of pocket, and then we can reimburse ourselves in the future from our HSAs. And so I am just making sure that we have enough money to cover our high deductibles. And so I'm putting $70 a month. I did have to spend out of it because I went to urgent care because I cut my finger with a mandolin, which is one of those like really sharp things that you use to finely cut vegetables. I was being very reckless in the way that I was using it, and I cut my finger. So I had to go there. And then for our house fund, even though we just bought this house, there are going to be lots of things that come up in a house that you are going to be unprepared for, that are going to cost money, and it's best to just set aside money into a sinking fund specifically for your house. And so that's what I'm doing, $350. We did spend some money out of this. So we are working on putting up screens in our patio area. And then in our gift savings, I like to set aside money for gifts. This is birthday presents, wedding presents, and then at the end of the year, whatever we have left over in this goes to our Christmas. And so this month we spent $89. In car maintenance, we set aside $175. So we pay our car insurance. We just switched, and now we pay our car insurance yearly. So I just save up the money so that we can pay the car insurance premium when it's due, all the stuff that you need to own a car and not be worried about that goes into our car maintenance sinking fund. For vacations, even though we went on vacation, I still like to put in, because I did say it and I'm going to say it again. We are going to plan a trip to go to Japan in 2028, and I have a 10K number I want to hit, and so I'm saving $500 a month to get to that number. And I also put in the interest that we made. I'm starting to roll that over into our vacation fund. And then I did spend $70.64, and this was on tickets to New York in September. This does seem super cheap for 2 round-trip flights, and it's because I did use credit card points for annual sub fees. We pay for a lot of subs that are just annual basis, so I like to put them all together in one little lump category, and then I have to worry about it. Extra giving, we did put aside $100, and we did spend $100. So my husband's spending, he didn't get any, and then I got $91. And then in our new tech fund, we put 100, but we spent 165. Now let's talk about our investments. So with our investments, we only have 2 main goals, which are to max out both of our Roth IRAs. The limit for the Roth IRA this year is $7,500, which equals $625 per month. And so we're doing that. We're maxing it out by the end of the calendar year. And then the rest of my bonus that I got from work, I just put into our joint brokerage for our debt. My husband has 3 student loans, and we just put aside the minimum plus a little bit to cover interest. So that was what is there. So that was May. So let's look at the cash flow summary, because I enjoy a good pie chart. I don't know if you guys enjoy a good pie chart, but I do. And so this pie chart shows us all of our different things, and it breaks it down. So our expenses this month were the most, again, because we cash flowed a lot of our vacation, and that came out to 48.4% of the pie. And then for our bills was 12.2%. Our sinking funds got 9.1% of the pie, and this is the spending out of the sinking funds, not going into sinking funds. Our debt, 3.4, investments, 12.5, which I'm very happy with even doing that much. Revolving funds got 11%, which is our sinking funds, just another name, so it's different on the pie chart. And long-term savings, we only put in 420, so that was 3.4. So that's what it looks like. Usually our expenses are not that big of a pie, but again, we spend a lot on vacation, but we had a lot of fun on vacation. So let's go over to June now, and let's look at the June budget. So for our income, I'm just expecting the normal amount of income. And then for our bills, because it is not the first of the month, I have already started spending out of these, but just pretend that it's the first of the month, okay? Our mortgage is $3,000. Our Wi-Fi is $37.33. This is because we had a credit from the last house. Again, I don't know what's going on with Google Fiber, but I'll take a credit. So $37.33 for water. I still don't know, so I'm just putting something super high, $175. Electric and gas, $419.32. Part of this is because I have to finish and pay out the rest of my electric bill for the old house because we were on budget billing. I had probably like an overage that I need to pay for, so they just charged me out for that. So that is the final bill for the old house, and then we should be free and clear of the old house. Phone bill is $50 as per usual. We use Visible, have great coverage, no problem there. Security, $32.99. Pest control, $100, and our HOA, $34. I did not put our HOA in the last month one because when we went and did our house closing, we paid for 2 months of our HOA upfront. So July is the first month when we actually have to pay our HOA. And like I said, I like to be 1 month ahead. So the money that I'm setting aside this month will actually go to next month's bill in July. In our groceries and household, I brought up our groceries and household because you saw we went over. We're also going on vacation with my husband's family. So we'll probably buy some groceries for the beach house, all that good stuff. So that gas and transportation, I'm leaving at $350, therapy $18, Gyms and subs I brought down to 92 because hopefully I won't get double charged. Spending 175 for each of us. Guilt-free spending I brought up to $600. I just was like, okay, this is the summer months. We're gonna be spending a little bit more time outside with friends. We have a ton of like things that we're going to be doing. So I was just like, let's just plan to have fun this summer and build that into our budget. Miscellaneous 2121, which you see a little spoiler for next month, but we overspent our miscellaneous on my prescriptions. Home $100, car maintenance nothing, travel $450. Again, this travel is probably our family beach vacation. Or savings and singing funds, nothing in the emergency fund. Health and wellness I'm putting up to 120. House fund, nothing, because from the sale of our house, we are going to be able to fully fund this singing fund. So I'm not going to put any more money into this until we spend out of it. Gift savings, 175. Car maintenance, 175. Vacations, 500. Annual sub fees, 150. Fun, nothing, because we are doing a lot of fun things. Taxes, nothing. Extra giving, 100. New tech, I put down to 50 just because I don't think that we are going to be buying too much new tech, and I feel like it's at a good number right now, so I'm okay with that. And then we've got two new categories to talk about that I put on the budget. So firstly, a new car. So my husband's car, not my car, I just got my car in 2024, but my husband's car is 2013, and we are looking to probably replace it in the next couple of years. We want to get him a EV. I talked about that in my video last week. And so I'm setting aside $600 for that. I wanted to set aside more, but because of the bills, I had to set aside less. But hopefully in the future going forward, we can set aside $1,000 a month. And then for pet. So for my husband's birthday this year, we are going to get a dog because my husband is a huge animal lover. And we now have a fenced-in backyard, and so I told him, you know, once we get like a fenced-in backyard, then we can maybe get a dog. We've been looking at the different animal shelters around the area. We want to adopt a dog, and so I know that there's lots of money that's going to go into getting a dog, so I'm already setting aside the money for that. For investments, so our Roth IRAs, and then I did decide to put $200 towards our brokerage. Again, this is not a big priority, and with how well it's been doing, like I don't feel like we're behind in any of our investing goals right now, so just putting aside $200 because I want to keep adding to it, but I don't feel this like rush to like put like $10,000 a year into it, so I'm feeling good there. And then for our debt, again, a little bit of a spoiler, but you see these numbers are kind of big, and it's because we paid off my husband's student loans. I'm so happy that we were able to do that from the sale of our house. So that is how much we had to put down. So that was $19,608 that went towards his student loans this month, but now they are completely paid off. So yay, I'm so happy about that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you got this far, oh my gosh, I talked a ton. I really appreciate everybody watching all my videos and just giving me all the love in the comments down below. You really, really make my day with all of your comments, so I really appreciate everyone who watches. And as always, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, y'all!